The Michigan Wolverines are your national champions. They get it done last night as we laid out to open up the show. Time-tested, run the football, play defense. Good things have happened in the world of football for a long, long time, and Michigan proved that again last night, winning the national title. So Michigan gets it done. They are your national champions, the first since 1997. And then the conversation becomes... Yeah, but the whole sign stealing stuff and the off-field issues,
it makes it a bigger win. It makes it bigger because you had to win games.
Agreed.
Based off of not having your head coach twice.
I think anybody that is using this to call an asterisk or this is tainted and it's not a real title, that is one of the weakest arguments to have right now based on look, if they got exposed and got caught and then they go to Penn State and would have gotten wiped out by James Franklin,
which could have very easily happened.
Yes, Penn State's a good football team.
It was supposed to happen, in fact.
And it didn't happen.
It was supposed to happen, and it didn't happen.
And they kept winning and winning and winning, and they beat Alabama, and then they beat Washington. Like, this team went 15-0. You know, there was a stat out there. I think it was Cole Kublik who had this tweet that was sent out that Michigan is the God. I want to make sure I have the wording correctly on this because he sent it out, and it was tying back to what Miami did back in the day. Because you remember the Miami team back in 2001 is one of the great college football teams of all time.
Sure.
Like, I mean, like if you want to argue USC or some of the other ones, like Cole Kublik sent this tweet out that Michigan is the first national champion to lead at halftime in every game since Miami in 2001. Like, they were a dominant football team. Like, you can say whatever you want about it.
Stop the run. And I think that was the main conversation we had heading into the game yesterday when we were previewing it is you couldn't stop the run. No one all season long was able to stop the run. And, oh, by the way, J.J. McCarthy just happens to probably be the best quarterback in the history of Michigan football history. And he didn't have to throw to win. He really never had to throw to win. But you know what? When they needed a big moment, he delivered. And he delivered it with his legs more so than his arm. And the defense showed up. You know, that Brady brought up
Will Johnson, number 2. He was the guy who was on a Dunsier last night.
Bam. Okay, I got it. Will Johnson.
Yeah.
I just think that when you look at what this Michigan team has had to overcome and what they were able to accomplish, they established what every team has to work to establish if they're going to have success, which is an identity. Undisputed, undebatable identity. And their identity was, we are going to block the hell out of you. And we got these explosive little squatty-ass running backs, and they're going to run hard as hell, and they're going to find gaps, and we're going to keep pounding it and pounding it and pounding it until we pound you into submission. And, you know, I was thinking after I was watching the game last night, give Brady Quinn a ton of credit. Coming into the season, he was like, this is going to be an offensive line that might be the best offensive line in the country. They had a couple transfers, I believe he said. He highlighted in detail Michigan's offensive front coming into the season, and I'll be damned if they weren't the difference.
I think Brady was copying off my notes.
Okay.
For that
you know
segment,
what? Give Jonas Knox all the credit in the world because you know what? Detailing this team and highlighting them in the beginning of the year before they played one game, it was the offensive line that everybody was raving over and talking about, and they were the difference. They were the difference. Now, their defense, amazing. Their defensive front gave Penix all the trouble he wanted. They were able to play good sound defense in the secondary. It was a brilliant game plan that was executed against Washington. And this Washington team really had the tools to give Michigan a problem because they have multiple receivers that are dynamic guys. But they weren't able to keep the pressure off of Penix. He was under duress all night. So give the defense credit. But to say that there should be an asterisk on this season for Michigan, I think not. In fact, if you want to put anything on it, put a notable. Your head coach was suspended at the season's open. It was open. Like, he missed, the first 2 games?
Bookend suspensions. First 4 and then 3 at the
First
end.
4 and then 3. How many regular season games are there? 12?
Yeah, he missed a large portion.
Okay. Like over half of the season. This man missed over half of the season, and they went 15-0. And that was why I said to myself, is it more about the players or is it the coaches? Is it just stockpile? Michigan probably has a collection of the best football players in the country, and that's why they went undefeated.
So here's the part about it that I find so hilarious. So the big discussion coming into the year was, well, everybody knew that Michigan was doing this. Like, okay, everybody knew they were doing it. So, yeah, they started adjusting their signals and changing things up when they were playing them early in the season. Okay, so let's say going into this season, it was well known by other schools that Michigan was stealing signs. And what did they do to start out the year? They were blowtorching teams left and right all season long. And then
everybody started putting them shower covers up.
Right, it's just like the whole and so then finally, okay, well we've discovered that they were doing something wrong, and now we've got a so now we're going to suspend them, and now because of this, there's no more sign stealing. Connor Stallions is out, he's gone. They've deleted everything. They're guilty, and they've been cheating this whole time. Okay, and
but
then what?
Jonas, but that's the second suspension.
I get it.
The first one is based off of recruitment violation. He had 2 different, things against him.
But I'm talking just from the stance of, because everyone wants to point to the sign stealing. Like that's the most that's the one that people look at, and it's the lightning rod for the controversy. So you knew that this was going on allegedly, so you adjusted, and you were still getting your ass whooped. And then when Michigan got quote unquote caught, and there was another suspension, then they were still beating teams. And then you went to the national championship, you went to the semifinals, you beat Alabama. I'm assuming there was no cheating going on there. I'm assuming if this is all on the up and up, there was no cheating going on in the national title. The idea that we're going to look at this and go, well, I mean, this is tainted. And no, it's only tainted if you're a loser. If you're a loser, this is a tainted national title, because you can't handle the fact that you thought Michigan was going to get outed after it was discovered that they had some guy named Connor Stallions who was reportedly videotaping or stealing signs or whatever you want to call it. And the big conversation we had on the show was, this has happened in college football for a long time. They're not the only ones. And yet here we are. They are the only ones. They're the only ones that finished the season undefeated and won a national title after all of this crap. Anybody out there making the argument that this is tainted, it's a loser mentality. No, it's not. They were the best team in the country, and they played it out all year long. 15-0, dude.
15-0 this year. And they lost 1 game last year. They lost 1 game.
He's 40-3 in the last 3 years.
Yeah, there's not enough sign stealing in the world to have you only lose 3 games in 3 years, bro. There's not enough. There's not enough sign stealing. There's not enough cheating. I want to know what you could do cheating-wise that would equate to you only losing 1 time a year and then winning the championship in that 3rd year. What type of cheating gets you there? Please tell me. Other than paying the players, but that's legal now.